Godzilla vs. Kong is directed by Adam Wingard and stars Rebecca Hall, Alexander Skarsgård, Millie Bobby Brown, Brian T. Henry, and Eiza Gonzalez. This tells the story of Godzilla going on a mysterious rampage, and the people of Earth and Kong had a fighting chance against Godzilla. So they bring the two of these monster titans together to clash for the fate of the world. Now, I'm a big fan of both of these monsters. I grew up more with King Kong back then, and later on, I got more into the Godzilla universe when I first watched the Gareth Edwards film back in 2014. Since then, I've been a big Godzilla fan, and I've always loved the Peter Jackson Kong, and I very much enjoyed the original King Kong and the new Kong Skull Island, as I said in my review. The MonsterVerse has been building up Godzilla and Kong's rivalry between these movies, and each one builds upon the other. It's all been leading to this. This is basically the Avengers of the MonsterVerse. So how does it hold up after a few years? Does it still pack a punch? Does it still entertain you? Well, let's get into it. Now, let's start off with the human characters. I think these are the weakest human characters out of all the MonsterVerse films. They barely have much character due to the runtime being so short. Like, they have like little quirks here and there for you to identify them and have them be distinguishable. But overall, these are the most boring, lackluster characters to just bring in a story somewhat. The most entertaining and most compelling character is this little girl and somewhat her caregiver, Rebecca Hall, who have a relationship with Kong, and the little girl is able to sign language with Kong. That actually gives Kong a bit of character, and throughout the film we see him actually go through some sort of arc. We see him discover new things about himself. He starts off at one place, ends up at another, and this conflict with Godzilla is something he didn't really ask for, but he answers the call to action to try and go up against him. Kong is by far the most interesting character in this entire film. Monster or human, whatever. He is the most interesting, he had the most going on. As for Godzilla, he's basically a schoolyard bully here. He doesn't have that much character, and the plot revolves around us finding out why he's going on a rampage. So plot-wise, there is a reason why we're not learning much about his reasoning to destroy things here, because it's a big old mystery. Besides, we already learned a lot about Godzilla in the previous films, so we're not missing out on much in terms of character for Godzilla here. We already know his deal. We're just trying to figure out why he's doing the things he's doing now. Which then leads to the monster action, and by God, this is where the film really shines. I found this movie's action sequences to be thoroughly entertaining. I found them to be epic, grand in scale. However, the monsters themselves, Godzilla and Kong, fight really fast. In previous films, due to their size, you could tell that they were moving a bit slower. Though not really that much slow as Godzilla was in the first Godzilla 2014 MonsterVerse film. But it's like, as these movies go on, these monsters are a lot more agile, a lot more faster. Like, now they're raptor speed here. I don't understand. I really don't. It's conflicting with the rules of the universe a little bit. But I think it's due to the fact that this director is trying to go for a more energetic tone here. And that is definitely on display, especially with the lighting and choice of cinematography here. While the shots here still make the monsters look grand and big, there's like very quick shots really. You don't get that much of a lingering shot of you beholding the size of these titans. You're just in the action sequence, in the moment, as everything is speeding up to the battle, and watching these monsters fight each other is just very entertaining. And the visual effects here look absolutely incredible. I think because due to the color and lighting of this film, it's able to look vibrant, it's able to look energetic. I overall found this movie's look and tone really fun. It's just the human element that I think really bogs down this story. It's by far the worst human story in this entire MonsterVerse and the worst element in this entire film, as it does drag down the pacing. Even characters I liked in previous films, I didn't really care for their story here. So overall, the characters, the human characters, really lackluster. Couldn't care if any of the monsters squashed them. But as for the Titans themselves, they're very entertaining. The plot twist to where it's revealed that the humans are working on a giant mecha Godzilla to go up against Godzilla is very silly. They're using the head of Ghidorah to try and use some telekinesis power set. It's something that the older Toho Godzilla films would have done if this movie was made back then. It is dumb, but it's very creative and very fun in a way. And I really like how it just goes all out on that idea. It's just really entertaining and leads to one hell of a climax at the very end. Overall, Godzilla vs. Kong is a nice conclusion to this first set of MonsterVerse films. I really like what they did with the monster fights here. The Godzilla and Kong action is very prevalent, and the conflict felt very much on point. Like, you could tell that this is what the story is building up to. So it earns the title of Godzilla vs. Kong. It doesn't feel like an afterthought. Overall, I found this movie to still be enjoyable. Just, it has some of the worst human elements, to the point where I say that it is my least favorite maybe of the MonsterVerse films. I still have an overall fun time with this movie, and I'm going to give Godzilla vs. Kong a B. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you guys next time.